sir. Yes, sir. Y'all know what time it is. Unk and Fuse in the building. We got Unk football right over there. You got the nephew right here. We ready. It's Sunday, best day of the week, in my
That's
opinion. You know what I
that's
mean?
what's up.
Unk, talk to the people, man. Talk to the people. You know what I mean?
Wh- yes, I. Well, the first thing I gotta
Mm,
say is I missed everybody last week, and that was terrible. But I was visiting my daughter in your town in Ottawa, and I still didn't even
yes,
get a
sir.
chance to link with you. Yeah, I was whooping it up with my old college homeboys and shit, and we was just having a good
Hey,
old time. And then Sunday getaway day was just stupid, man. The time when we
oh,
should be doing the pod, I'm like, we're running around trying to get ourselves on the highway. But yo,
yeah.
we're back in the space, buddy.
Absolutely, man. And one of the things though, we missed you last week. We did our own thing, but it hits different when you have the homie on. It's different. It hits
Right?
different, you know what I mean?
The
And next time you're in
banter.
the city, I'll definitely be linking up. I was busy. I was running around with my head cut off basically last weekend. But we gonna make it happen. And when I'm in T dot Toronto area, I'll definitely hit your
Right?
line. You know what time it is. You
There,
know what I
there we
mean?
go, man. Yeah, we gotta
Yeah.
set up the next chapter in this. And yeah, I think it's your turn to travel somewhere.
Yeah, it's my turn. I gotta make the trip, man. I gotta stop playing.
Hey, there we go.
You know what I mean? But this is something that we're not playing. And we're gonna start slightly a little different, but we're gonna bring football into it. By the way, people, if you're watching on the replay, you're watching us live, smash the like button. Best way to support, best way for us to grow. We appreciate y'all. And we have seen growth over these 4 seasons that we've been doing it together. So
Indeed.
appreciate everybody who even spends the time and shows some appreciation because we appreciate y'all. That's a fact. You know what I mean?
Yes,
But
I.
something that we don't appreciate
Whew.
is the biggest scandal in sports. Unc, I'm gonna set it up, and maybe you can talk a little bit about it. For those who are not in the know, right? You know how we all have these conspiracy theories of games being rigged and things being played in a different way, and oh, why is the ref making this call? Well, hey, your thoughts might be validated because last week, or I think it was Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, or Wednesday, the feds, yes, the FBI came to the houses of Chauncey Billups, who's the current Portland Trailblazers coach, put him in handcuffs. Terry Rozier, current player for the Miami Heat, and a bunch of other people who are in the mafia. Yes, the Italian mafia, the Genovese, Gambino, Lucchese, all of them guys were put
The
in handcuffs, about
actual,
30 of them.
the
Actual
actual five families.
straight up involved in a underground illegal poker scheme where they made card plays and tricked people into taking their money. And the biggest thing related to our show in sports is players were given insider information
Yep.
to these betters so that they could take, for example, the under. This player, Terry Rozier, said, hey, in the middle of the game, I'm going to have an injury, so take the unders. Or other times that Chauncey Billups, a coach, Mr. Big Shot, actual NBA Hall of Famer, told betters that his team was tanking in 2023, was presumably to get Wemby, Wemby Nembanyama. My bad. I'm messing Wembanyama. I'm messing up his name. My bad. But they were tanking to get top draft picks. So Chauncey Billups told betters to bet against his team.
Hmm.
Now, how does this relate to football? Well, if these guys are doing it in NBA, and Calvin Ridley and some other people got caught in the NFL, this is opening up Pandora's box. Unc, I think
Cal-
that's a good enough setup. What are your thoughts, bro?
Calvin got caught up in it. Calvin's on the list.
Well, Calvin Ridley got caught a few years ago and he
Oh,
was suspended for a year. I'm just saying
okay.
that this gambling in games by players and coaches
Right.
happens more than we think. That's what I'm trying to say here.
Well,
Mm,
yeah, yeah.
mm.
Well, shoot, again, it's like I go away for a week and I come back and it's the plot of Goodfellas or Casino or something, right? I mean, we're
Straight
talking
up.
about the actual five families in what is pretty much like obvious and like just kind of like low tech, old
Right.
school scams, right? Although the most
Mm-hmm.
amusing thing I heard about this, like it was just up and up cheating, right? It comes down
Straight
to
up.
like know who you're gambling with, right? And know who, right? And these
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Billups and Rozier are just clearly they were getting sloppy and just openly talking about it. I mean, sooner or later it's going to get back, right? And they
Mm-hmm.
were also they were some of these guys were apparently doing a lot of this offshore, so it was easy to hide. But then they started bankrupting places, so they had to come back on shore into the U.S. about 5 years ago, and that's when it started to be more obvious, right? Like
Yes.
everybody's
Yeah.
loading up on the under in West Lafayette or some obscure game that nobody's paying attention to, but yet there's fucking like $1 million being bet on like it's obvious and sloppy and
Right.
the FBI has been working on this thing for quite a while, so don't let Cash Patel like scoop in there and act like he's like he's like some kind of big shot at all this, right? This has been going on for
Yeah.
years and years, and that's how they ended up getting sloppy on this. And yes,
Mm-hmm.
it goes to the integrity of the game. Like
Thank you.
the NBA is going to have to do, it's really going to have to address this. And here's the problem, though, is that like gambling is such a huge part of the game. It pays the
Yes.
bills, like
Yes.
like from the top to the bottom. And the things
Right.
that they're and the things that were going on in this scam here, it's just simple, straight up lying, right? Like they're relying
Yeah.
on Billups' reputation and his information for the insider information there. But also the other thing that Billups is involved with is that he was like in those old movies you always see like, and especially in The Sopranos they did it a lot, where they have like a guy hosting a poker game,
Of
right?
course. Yes.
And
Of course.
he's there, he's talking, and he's sharing old stories and this and that. And there's like like in one Sopranos episode, they had like Lawrence Taylor was there, and other big
Mm,
name stars, right? That obviously it's good for Chase and the series and whatnot. It's star power, but that's actually
right.
true. Like Lawrence Taylor was a
Yes. It's
prolific
a real
gambler,
thing.
right? And so
Yeah.
there were many guys like him, Michael Jordan, obviously, like on down through. Like these are competitive people. They like to
Fact.
gamble and privately amongst themselves. That's great. But when a guy like Chauncey Billups starts recruiting somebody like, a Lawrence Taylor or whomever, right? They say, I think there
Right.
were 33 victims, they called it. And so these are people that
Mm,
rely on Billups, his reputation, his knowledge of these gamblers, and like he's the one recruiting them into the games. But meanwhile,
fact.
like they've got tech, like ridiculous low tech but high tech stuff. Like
Yeah,
they
they
had,
got
I think, an
glasses.
X-ray. They had an
Yep.
X-ray machine and marked cards. So everybody
Right.
coming into that game is
Mhm.
guaranteed to lose. Like the house is literally stacked against you, right? Like
Exactly.
the house
Exactly.
is literally has infrastructure built in it to beat you at cards. So that's obvious, and that's
Mhm.
cheating, and that's like illegal. It's just another way to steal from big people with big money, right? So that's when the FBI gets in, right? Everybody loves to gamble, everybody loves
Yeah.
it, right? But there comes a point when if it's not fair, that's a crime,
Mhm.
right? And that's
Yeah.
what was going on here. And we pray that it's not going on in the NFL, because in the end, like I would never gamble on the NBA the way with
Yeah.
this
A
information
lot
out
of
there.
people. A lot of people are running away from putting any money on the NBA because you've now brought in reasonable doubt, man.
Well,
You've
that's
now
just
made
it.
the betters realize, hey, man, are we getting played?
Well,
Oh.
yeah, and it's the goose. It's the goose that lays the golden eggs, and
Right. Right.
you've just killed the goose. So
I heard some things people said talking about class actions for the fans because guess what? Let's say you put your money on Terry Rozier to get you 20 points, right? You took the over because he
what if
was
you
averaging 23 points,
what
right?
if you
And
bought
then he
season
told,
tickets?
right, you bought
Like
season tickets.
as a
And then
fan of a
right?
certain product, you bought
Yeah,
season tickets, and they're tens of thousands of dollars, if not, 50 grand or 100 grand or whatever it costs to have quality season tickets. You invested that in your team only to find out that
God,
you're in a league that might as well be WWE. No, I did not.
that's
I can buy those tickets if I want to. I didn't. I bought NBA tickets because I was sold that it was a legitimate league with honest players and management.
exactly. You didn't but sign up for that. And this is something that I hope the NFL does not get wrapped up into, because guess what? If they're going to, I'm talking about the feds, if the FBI is going to investigate the NBA, huge association, you don't think they're looking at the NFL? You don't
Well,
think guys like Calvin Ridley, who got suspended for a full year in Atlanta because he was gambling,
yeah,
not
I would
necessarily
be.
on himself, but
I
guess
would
what,
be.
guys? Yeah.
I would be heartbroken.
Oh,
I would be so, well, not literally, but I would be figuratively heartbroken to
that's
find out that
bullshit.
my league was not legitimate, that these point spreads don't matter. Like, fuck
Mhm.
me, man. Like, yeah. So now here's the good news out of all of this.
Let's talk about it.
Baseball, well, no, baseball and basketball in particular lend themselves to this type of activity more so
Yeah.
than does football because of the
Yes.
schedule and the frequency and the intimacy of those games, right? They're
Right,
day
right,
after
right.
day, day in, day out, right? It only takes one game to make a millionaire out of somebody, right? It only
That's a good
takes
point.
right? You only
Mm,
need to take maybe an inning off or a quarter off here and there, right? Come out of the game
right.
like Rozier did, right? There are subtle things that you can do in basketball and baseball that really make a difference. Whereas football, it's a team game, right? No
It's
one
definitely.
person, like unless it's a quarterback, no one person can necessarily throw a game, right?
That's a good
So
point, man. And you know what? I hope that whoever really gets caught up in the invest. By the way, everybody's innocent till proven guilty. These are all
right.
alleged, obviously. So hopefully these guys are innocent. Let's start off with that. But if they're found guilty, they need to
They're
get
not.
punished to the full extent of the law. Keep in mind that Chauncey Billups is an NBA Hall of Famer. And this guy I showed on the screen right here, Pete Rose, is one of the best baseball players, period, just period,
Ever to play.
ever got in the Hall of Fame because he cheated, guys. He
Hey
gambled.
man,
And
look,
the punishment has to be severe, brother. Yeah,
Chauncey
yeah.
Billups helped me win a bracket one year, man, when he was playing
Oh,
for
it's that.
Colorado for the Buffs, right? He was
Nice.
landing three-pointers like it was nobody's business, man. Like 30
I
points
love this
just on
game.
on 10 3-point. Yeah, he was a three-point god at Colorado. And
Right.
I just love the name. I love the name, Chauncey Billups. It sounded like something out of an English novel, right? Some 19th century. and
Yes,
and I
sir.
said, you know what? I'm gonna ride this guy, man. I think this kid, what a great name. Because back then, right? Like, this is how you
Uh,
sometimes chose your brackets, right? I didn't really think of the Buffs as a basketball school. They were a
right.
football school. But Chauncey Billups took them to like the Elite Eight or something like that year.
Yeah, he was really good. He took them far, dog. Yeah, and he won a chip
And
with the Detroit. You know what I mean?
right.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's right. Those early 2000 Detroit teams, like he played on there,
Yeah.
man. Like I love Chauncey Billups. The last thing I want to
Man.
hear about is this guy doing that
Oh,
stuff, right?
and this is the thing, man. We gotta. Here's something. Last point I want to say about this. I think because of the merging of things like DraftKings, FanDuel, all of these Bet Rivers, whatever you want to call it, going into sports, and it being so open these days, I think it
Yep.
left the door open for these
Well,
scandals to happen.
yeah,
So
yeah,
hopefully it don't get worse than this, but I heard it might get worse than this.
because
Mm,
that is why this was targeted, and that
right.
is because it's so old school. Like what is
Mm,
really being relied on to lure people in is the reputations. So that's
facts.
what makes this so different than the other gambling. Like because yeah, like sports and the
Mm,
media, etc., is all getting like the bills are all being paid by gambling money. So like
yeah.
there are no virgins in this anywhere, right? Right.
There's not
So
too many innocent people. You're right about that.
right. So it has to be managed, and that's what made this unique, is that these guys like preyed on individuals and relied on their reputations to do an old school targeted scam, and that's sort of different than what's happening with FanDuel and all that stuff. Like, it's all getting corrupted for sure, but
Right.
this was particularly egregious.
Man, I'm telling you something that's not egregious. Looking at Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield play some football. Okay, we're gonna take a turn towards the positive. Let's talk about some
Yeah,
football,
that's right.
guys. Shout out to young KP in the building. Appreciate you for coming through.
Right
And I think
on.
that's Kareem.
That's my
So
boy,
yes, sir, the
my
homie.
man, my young
Yeah,
man. That's right.
I love it, man. And shout out to these two guys. I'm talking about Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. Yes, the teammates in Carolina. And let me repeat this: the
That's
3-3 Carolina Panthers. What the hell? You know what I mean?
right.
But allegedly, they had better plans in mind. We're talking about now the 5-2 Seattle Seahawks, led by obviously Sam Darnold and Jackson Smith and Jigba and that strong defense. And of course, the 5-2 Buccaneers, who have a claim to being literally a top 5 team. We might get back to that, but they got whooped last week by the Lions, who looked absolutely marvelous at 5-2 as well. But Unc, what do you think about the revival of the bust quarterback? You're looking at Baker Mayfield, you think, okay, this guy's gonna run the Cleveland Browns, literally gets booted out for a pervert. It is what it is. And then
Yeah.
Sam Darnold goes from the Jets, which is the Jets, the 0-7 Jets,
Purgatory.
to all of a sudden being a borderline MVP candidate with the numbers he's
Yeah.
putting down. Unc, what are your thoughts about the revival of the bust quarterback?
Well, yeah. Well, of course, to me, none of this is surprising. To me, this is how it's supposed to go. Not being a bust, right? Of course, no one likes that. But to me, I think it takes 3 to 5 years to properly learn the job of NFL quarterback. And we've got to this place where, we're investing so much money in rookie quarterbacks that, like, we're demanding that by the end of the rookie contract, no later than the end of the rookie contract, the third year,
Right.
that they be, paying off on that, right? Which is
Yeah,
a little bit unrealistic to me. I think that's a lot of pressure. I
it
think
is.
Jackson Dart is the exception this year with what he's doing in New York.
Right.
So like, none of this is surprising to me. To me, this is sort of how it should go. We've had this discussion on numerous occasions. So to see Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield both succeeding now is not surprising to me. Baker Mayfield, it feels like we've been talking about him as a successful quarterback, like, pretty much since he left Carolina and
Right.
Cleveland.
Right.
Like it seems like forever ago, but it wasn't that long ago. Like, he was drafted the same time as Darnold, was he not?
Yeah, he was. They were both in the 2018 draft.
Right?
It was Mayfield, Darnold, Josh Rosen. I know it sounds
Yeah,
crazy.
the
Josh
one no one
Allen and then
remembers.
Lamar. All of them in the first round. Crazy. Yeah.
So that's like 7 years ago, barely, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is what to me should be happening for the last 3 years of their careers, and if you look at it, that's about right. Because Darnold has spent 2 years in Minnesota, and now this year in Seattle.
Right. This is the first year in Seattle. He was 2 years
So
in Minnesota.
so basically, yeah, like, after 4 years of learning the ropes, suddenly Sam Darnold got good with a decent coach and a better team. Well, no surprise to me. That's exactly how it's supposed to go. So I'm happy to
Yeah.
see that. And Darnold, now here's the fun part in this discussion, right? We're talking about these guys like as if they're league beaters, but they're not. Like, Darnold is a top 12 fantasy quarterback, right? He is literally number 12.
Okay.
and
Okay.
and
Wow.
Baker Mayfield is number 8. Like, there are
Oh,
guys
okay.
up the food chain that are having better seasons than them. Like Mahomes, like everybody hates to hear this, but Mahomes
Mahomes having a great season.
is
Yes.
probably your MVP candidate. He's the number one in fantasy. He's pulling their fat out of the fire on a few different occasions, but they're not
Yeah.
world beaters, right? They're just getting past 500 now after opening the season,
Mm,
what, 0-2 or 0-3 or something, or 1-3. Like, so, and Mahomes
yeah.
has been the engine to that. And yeah, that guy there, Dak, has been
Whoosh,
phenomenal. Certainly playing more of
whoosh.
what you would call an MVP level of quarterback than is these
Right.
two guys. But these two guys, Mayfield and Darnold, are super encouraging to see. I'm happy for them, and I'm happy to see it. That's the big thing, and I'm happy for Seattle. Their defense has been
Mm,
at the core of a lot of that. And their
yes.
running game is going, because that's the irony there, right? We're talking about Darnold and his
Mm,
revival from bust status to franchise quarterback, whatever, starting
yeah.
quarterback at least, right? And all very encouraging, and that's wonderful. But reality is that they're running the ball so well and winning with defense that his numbers,
Mhm.
it's fantastic in contrast to previous seasons, but he's not actually like throwing the lights out because he doesn't have to. The team's winning in other ways. It's a very balanced approach out in
Right.
Seattle.
Right. And keep in mind this guy and you Ravens fans, put your eyes and ears away because Mike McDonald was our defensive coordinator. He's currently the Seahawks coach. And
Yeah,
he was able to get the Ravens defense to be so good that they were barely allowing 20 points to the
right.
opposition. And that's what the Seahawks are doing now. This
Yeah,
Seahawks defense is
very much.
very shut down. And it's up to the coaching and the scheming. So we got to give that up. So when your quarterback just has to lay down 2 touchdowns a game and the running game will take the rest and the defense will take care of the rest, no turnovers or very few, that's a recipe for winning. And I'm going to give this to Baker Mayfield as well. I'm not saying their defense is great, but the
Because it's
Bucks
not.
have a very good. It's not. It's not. It's not great, but they have good coaching, and I think that matters a lot. That's why they're
Yeah.
5-2. All the injuries
Yes.
that happened to the Bucks, Mike Evans. Unfortunately, fantasy owners are sad about that,
The
and even
receivers
just
are
fans of
all
football. The receivers are always. But guess what? A good coach, a good team can bring up new guys. Tez
right.
Johnson, fantasy guys, pay attention. You know what I mean?
Well, well,
So
look
yeah,
at San Francisco this year. I mean, it's crazy.
yes, right. So that's always I always look at it like this. If you're able to have players ready after injuries, that means you have a good coaching staff. You know what I mean? You
Means
have
you got a
guys who are
pipeline.
a pipeline, exactly. It's an organizational thing. So
Yeah.
Baker left the shit show that is the Cleveland Browns, the Carolina Panthers, and finally got in an organization that's pretty good. So you're absolutely right on. It takes some time. Just because somebody is amazing in week 1 or week 2 doesn't mean that's everyone's journey. Most players,
Yeah.
like you said, especially the quarterback position, they need some time. They need some time. You know what I mean?
Yes. Like
And
the opposite,
go
the
ahead.
opposite, the opposite would be our story of Justin Fields this year. Came out
Right.
looking like a world beater in week one.
Yes.
But
Yes.
my goodness, like we're starting to understand why maybe
Oh,
what the Steelers didn't see,
mhm.
that they wanted to get rid of because I mean, like you can't
Right.
blame it all on Fields. The line is horrible, but he's like throwing picks and he's not really like running up and down the field. Like he is not
No.
getting it done for New York. And you can't put it all on him. But there's an
No.
example of a guy who's had the time and he's shown
Yes.
excellence early on and is backsliding.
Yes. And you know what? At first, I thought it was just the Jets being the Jets organization. And then I just kept on watching more games, and I'm like, Fields, you're not doing it,
Fields
man.
is
You are
not
not
playing well.
clicking. This
Yeah.
is the thing that we got to talk about. This is the topic, young QBs and how we evaluate them, right? I'll say this, a young QB that's impressed me that we had a lot of doubts about, and we even talked about this very early on into the season, is Caleb Williams. It seems like he's elevating right
Yes.
with his play and he's improving. But every time you watch Justin Fields, he'll have one sprinkle of a great play and then 4 or 5 other bonehead questionable plays. Like, what's going on? Are
Yes.
you getting worse or better? So
Yeah.
this is my theory, and not even a theory, just what I've always thought about. Your weapons as a quarterback and your coaching as a quarterback. Those two have to go hand in hand. You can be the most talented person alive. But if you don't have the right weapons and the coaching, you're seeing potentially a career backup in Justin Fields, and you're seeing now in Caleb Williams a true franchise quarterback with a 4-2 Chicago Bears team who's about to stomp the Baltimore Ravens. It is what it
Like,
is. They're about
well,
to go 5-2. But
quite,
what are your thoughts about young QB in development?
well,
Yeah.
quite honestly, yeah, exactly, right? Like, quite honestly, I
Mm.
would rather have Snoop Hundley today than Justin Fields, right?
Oh
Just on
yes.
the just on the prospect that Hundley will, like, at
Yeah.
least complete, 60% of his passes and run for a bit, right? Like what Fields should be
Right.
doing and isn't. What do I
Yeah.
feel? Well, what I feel is that there's just a ridiculous amount of pressure on these kids coming out of college, right? And I
Right.
think that the expectation that they will be franchise level as they come out is that's unrealistic to me. Except for even the most generational of talents. We didn't expect that out of John Elway, right? We didn't expect that
Right.
out of Montana. Them like Steve Young, like all these guys, I sat on the bench, right? And Elway is the
Mm,
best example because he did start from day one. But it was
mm,
probably year 2.5 or the third season, maybe into the third
right.
season, where he learned. Yeah, see that picture there with his arm cocked? That was his problem, is
Mm,
that like he had so much zip on that ball. Like he was a pitcher
mm.
too, right? Or a baseball player too, right? The guy he's like Mahomes. He could throw that ball on a
Yeah, he
rope.
pitched too. Yeah, you're right.
He
He
can
did some
throw
pitching. Yeah.
that ball on a rope like a baseball player would throw a football, and it's too much sometimes. Like it comes in like a fucking heater, right? It's like boom. And he, like Elway, had to
Right.
learn to take just enough off that it's a little bit easier to catch without like compromising his accuracy. But like it took him a
Mm,
while to do that, right? Like
right.
that's what being a
Right.
pro in the NFL is about. It's more than just X's and O's and plays, and just like sometimes you have to learn some of the nuance to the game, right?
Yeah.
And yeah. So, anyways, yeah. So I just think
Mm,
it's unfair to expect these guys to just do. But on the other hand, like witness Jackson Dart, right?
right.
Witness Bo
Correct.
Nix last year, right? Now, sure, Bo
Oh
Nix
yeah.
came in at about 38 years old after what, 12, 15 years playing college football, right? But I'm
Fact.
exaggerating. But you know what I'm saying? Like he came in a grown man.
Yeah.
But
Right. He's damn near 20. Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
and, and even he hasn't been perfect, right? But he's been
No.
competent right out of the gate. And that's
Right.
exceptional.
I think now a trend that I'm seeing. I don't know if this is going to continue, but you have older young QB. So what do I mean by that? You see, Jackson Dart is maybe an exception to the rule, but Cam Ward, I think Cam Ward is maybe 24, close to 25, right?
Yeah.
So he was in college for quite a bit, right? So he went to two different teams. I think he started at a smaller college and then Miami picked him up and he was in
Like
Miami for like two some years. Now he's in Tennessee, which is a shit organization, but with fingers crossed for him, he's gonna develop, give him time and
that's right.
patience. So
Well,
what's happening is the league now, they're getting so impatient with young QBs. I don't like seeing it. But like we said, man, give them time and give them weapons. Give them
well,
competent coaching. You know what I
and
mean? Yeah.
the other option is, as you say, is to basically pimp out the college system to the point where you get like 7 years of college ball.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Like that's
Yeah.
sort of like an extra couple of seasons in the NFL, right? Sort of, right? Like your body keeps growing and you're calling
Yeah.
more plays, and that's basically what that's sort of what you're doing, right? So that's
Right.
that's that's what I think you're seeing. That's why I think you're seeing the evolution of these guys coming in like that with that much experience, that many years of college out of their belt. But I think that's a good thing, right?
I think it's good
Football
too.
demands
I think it's
game.
good.
You should come into the NFL at like 22, 23.
Right. having experience, knowing what you're doing, because you're going to be facing the big boys, man. You're no
Well,
longer facing guys who
it's
are going to be
also your
accounted.
body
You know?
physically, your body
Yes.
physically, like your
Mhm.
bone density, like all these things continue to evolve in your early 20s.
Right. I'm gonna say something that I don't think I've said on this show before, but F it, I'm gonna say it. That fourth quarter between the Denver Broncos and the New York Giants was some of the best football I've ever seen. I didn't watch it live because I was on shift. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But I watched it on the replay. I watched it back. Such an amazing comeback. And in my opinion, my humble opinion, I think the Giants lost that game more than the Broncos won that game because the
Oh, yeah.
Broncos had to dig deep to get that dub, but the Giants one mistake after another, one weird call for a pass play when you should be running the clock out,
Yeah.
one interception that's really crushing that gets basically returned back, giving the door, putting up 33 points in the fourth quarter. What the hell? And give
Yeah.
props to Bo Nix for coming back on that Denver will to win. Goddamn.
Well,
What was your thoughts?
it just makes you wonder, like
Right.
how on earth do you play possum for 3 freaking quarters? like, how- that's unforgivable. That like you were down 32-0. Well, not at that point they weren't 30, but like to be down like 4 scores or whatever it was exactly. It going
Right.
into the fourth quarter, like what on earth was going on? And this is the funny thing, right? Because I don't know what Bo Nix was entering the fourth quarter, but he went 27 for 50. He threw 50 passes and
Wow.
barely completed half of them. So something wasn't
Jeez.
working in the first 3 quarters, and it was working to an extreme in the fourth quarter because he involved like
Right.
4 receivers. I think at least 3 different receivers had 6 catches and like 75 or 80 yards. Like,
Right.
yeah, and but it was mostly like it was all ground game too, though, right? Like all the touchdowns, I think pretty much were either
Yes.
run in by Bo Nix or he tossed one, I think, to Mims. But like for 33 points, I
Mhm.
was looking for where all the points got scored, but it's a lot of field goals and a lot of running. And I
Right.
think one TD or maybe 2 TD passes, but it's just insanity that this could happen and go down like that. Like my goodness, can you imagine if you had like the Giants in that
Yes.
game? Whatever, like,
Oh,
and you or even the Broncos, but just like watching the fate just turn so massively in the fourth
mm,
quarter is just maddening to watch, right? And
right.
yeah,
It gives the term any given Sunday a real meaning because imagine how the Giants were feeling after putting up like 24-0 going into the fourth. It's over. And then the disaster happened. Shout out to, I'm gonna say it, Bo Nix went absolutely crazy. Those two
yeah.
touchdown runs, they gave an energy and a boost to the team. And then he was catching Cortland Sutton,
Well,
Marvin Mims, Evan,
I,
and he
I
was catching everybody. And this thing that I don't like seeing is when coaches go conservative on defense, especially at
yes,
the end of the game, where they had, I think it was the second or third last play, they had all these guys in coverage, right? And like two or three rushers, and Bo Nix just launches that ball to like some receiver who gets a perfect pass. That soft defense and Brian Dable with a 2-5 Giants. My God,
mm,
what were
yeah.
your thoughts about the
Well,
play call
I
or lack
just
thereof?
think
Right.
it's a remarkable win.
Mm,
It looks good for coach. It's the
right.
type of win that bonds a team to do something
Oh
like that.
yes. Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, no, absolutely. That team seems like it's operating on all cylinders right now in a crazy
Mm.
division.
Oof.
But you know, and
Yes.
they're going to have to compete so hard to come out of that division, right? So
Yes, they will.
yeah, like think about it. The Chiefs are third in that division at what are they 4-3 now? Um,
Yes, they're 4-3 and they're third in that division. And they looked absolutely incredible last week. Incredible.
right,
Rasheed Rice
right.
is back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, who did they like? Didn't they beat Detroit last week or whatever? Wasn't that like the game of the week?
Oh, Detroit. Yeah, they beat Detroit. They're on a 2-game winning. They beat Detroit.
Yeah,
They beat Vegas. I think I don't know who they're playing. I'm gonna check again. But they are 4-3 and somehow third in their
they're playing
division.
the
Insane to think
Commanders.
about.
They're playing the
Are they
Commanders this week, and at
Oh
first I don't
wow.
really like, me and double-digit point spreads, right? I was thinking
Right.
like, okay,
Right.
right, commies will cover that, right? Just the way the Chiefs have been playing a little bit close to the wire, et cetera, right? But
Right.
the way the Chiefs have been coming on, and with Jaden Daniels not playing, like, yeah, I think
Indeed.
Spagnuolo and that defense are going to beat up on Mariota. They're going to take advantage of it all. And I think, yeah,
Oh yeah.
my guess, I mean, I don't mean to jump ahead to spreads, but like that 10.5 points suddenly looks pretty makeable for the Chiefs, I think.
I'm telling you, yeah, we're gonna get to the lines and spreads, and I'm telling you right now, that's super active. That might be a lock because the way they looked, I'm talking about the Chiefs, was absolutely fantastic. But I'm gonna give also credit to the Broncos. They started off pretty, maybe we didn't expect it, but they're quiet as kept. They're on a 4-game winning streak. They're on one of the longest winning streaks in the
That's
league.
right.
Of course, the season is halfway. We're near the halfway point, but the 4-game winning streak is no joke, man. You know what I mean? Number one in the
Yeah.
very competitive AFC West, where the Chargers are also 5-2. But
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
You don't
Like
have a choice in that division. You have to
you
keep
have to
winning.
be. Yeah, you because if you slip up, another person's gonna come up. You feel me? You know what I mean?
That's it.
So I'm telling you like this. We all have to give credit to them. And guess what? I'm still gonna give a bit of credit to Jackson Dart because he played well other than the fourth quarter. Let's give credit where it's due. Him, Dayball, Scatterboo, that amazing defensive line. I don't think they're there yet. This is not the season. But
Yeah.
if they stay healthy, what are your thoughts on about the
Well,
upstart Giants?
and well, or anyhow, like Philly like starts to backslide or have
Mm,
problems. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, we're
Giants are
gonna
just
talk
sitting
about
there.
that.
Giants are just
We're
sitting
gonna
there ready to take advantage of that. And they seem to have the
mm,
players to do it. So
facts.
fun stuff, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that Jackson Dart is wow, is good looking rookie, right? So
right.
yeah, I believe in what the Giants could possibly do this season if they keep at it. So yeah, for sure.
Yes, sir. We're gonna stay in the division and we're gonna talk about man. I'm gonna Unc, I think you might be mad about this or maybe a little upset, but there's something going on down there in Dallas. Once they picked up this guy George Pickens, he is doing things that I did not see in Pittsburgh, man. Him, CD, and Dak, Javante Williams. I don't know if there's a better offense in the NFL. Now we'll talk about defense, but that was amazing. They put the smack down. They beat the brakes out of the team they're playing. I'm gonna check again. What were your thoughts of this crazy Dallas offense? They had me thinking crazy thoughts, bro. They had me thinking they could jump over the Eagles. Am I crazy for thinking that?
No, not at all. Not at all. Look at the rate at which they're putting up points, right? They're putting up bushels of points, right? And just to speak about Mr. Pickens for a second, I mean, my
Mhm.
goodness, who knew that if all you needed to do to get him to shut up and play like great football was just give him a competent quarterback? Damn, like why didn't Pittsburgh think of that? Um,
That's
Because
funny.
like he's playing great, he's shutting his mouth, and he's just like, and now he's got CD Lamb, so he's now like, because I think Pickens is a true number two receiver. He's the best
I
number
agree
two
with you.
receiver in the game when he's playing at his best. But I think he likes like, sort of like the big brother effect of having like a big
Mhm.
alpha with him, right? Like
Yes, I agree.
he's just one of those guys. Like T. Higgins is another good example.
Correct.
Guys are just
Mhm.
dynamite number two receivers, but when you put the pressure on them to be the man, they start cracking a
Right.
little bit. So I think that's so Pickens is in an absolutely perfect situation for him in an
Yeah.
offense that is like it's boy, they're just kicking ass, man. They're taking numbers, right? It's yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think they beat the Commanders. Like they lapped the Commanders last week. I think they beat them 44-22. Yeah, there it
Yeah,
is right
man.
there.
It wasn't even competitive to a certain point. Yeah, Jaden Daniels running for his life, and unfortunately, he got injured again. But every time the Dallas Cowboys got the ball, it was damn near automatic drive to a touchdown. Somebody was scoring. It was either going to be Pickens, it was going to be Jake Ferguson, it was going to be Javonte Williams. Somebody is going to be in the end zone at the end of each drive. And
Yeah.
it was really impressive to see. But if I'm not mistaken, this might be another 40-point game the Dallas Cowboys have had. They've had a lot of 40-point
Let
games,
me let
which
me
is
let
something
let me
hard to
talk
beat.
about let me talk
Mm,
about Mr. Ferguson briefly, shall we?
yeah, let's talk about him. Yeah.
like okay, Pickens and Lamb, great combo. They went as one stat line. Those two
Mhm.
receivers on the weekend went nine for 192 and a touchdown. Right, great stuff. Right,
Wow.
just one had 110 yards, the other had 80 something. Right, so one had five
Right.
receptions, the other four. Right, like that's some good XY receiver stuff. Right now, Mr.
Facts.
Ferguson, on the other hand, went caught seven receptions of his own for less
Wow.
than 30 yards, but two touchdowns. But two
Wow.
touchdowns, right?
Wow.
So it's just ridiculous. He's like 51 for 334 yards, which is not bad
Mhm.
wide receiver numbers, right? But
Right.
six TDs. Like I think he's tied for second in the league in TDs, like as
Oh,
a
yes.
receiver. Right. So, anyways, yeah. So this guy, man, this guy's he's what 6 years in the league now. He is
Mhm.
yeah, he's reminding me of some of the great Dallas tight ends in the past. You know, Moose Johnson, all these different guys from way back when. Like the tight end role has always featured prominently in the Dallas offense when it's working well. And my goodness, do they have one going with Jake Ferguson?
Right.
Whoever like ignored the top three, tight ends in fantasy and said, screw it, give me anybody who's not Kittle in them, right? Just give me Jake Ferguson, right? That guy is
Oh,
winning his league.
winning. Winning. Number one in the league. Whoever has it, they're winning. And I'm gonna give
Right?
one small credit to this
Because
guy. I Go ahead.
the other thing
Yeah.
is like instead of drafting like Kittle and them in the second and third round, like whoever that guy took Jake Ferguson, like he has that extra wide receiver. He's got an extra
Yes.
A alpha running back, right? In a time when
Right.
injuries are tearing up the league.
Oh, don't get me started about injuries in
No,
the
we
league.
won't. We won't.
We won't. Don't get me depressed on this fine Sunday morning, my man. But I
Yeah,
will say
tell me
this:
about it.
we will give credit to somebody who I thought was a horrible hire. I was wrong, man. Brian Schottenheimer is doing his thing as an offensive play caller for the Dallas Cowboys. And
Yeah,
especially when you contrast that to what we're seeing in Philly, where they'll have an amazing game one week, and then the next week they'll look like the worst offense you've seen in your entire life.
complete
Dallas,
mystery.
one right. Dallas, for sure, every week you're gonna see an offensive explosion. Now you won't see the defense keep up, but you will see the offense explode. So it's the Eagles,
Isn't hold on?
they got I mean,
Isn't
yeah.
Jason Keltz coming out of retirement to fill gaps in the Philly O line right now?
I think because they have a lot of injuries, they have this guy coming back, Brandon Graham. I think they have gaps on their D line and their O line. I'm talking about the
Yeah,
Eagles now.
it really shows that
Brandon Graham
Philly's
came
weak
out of
performance this
retirement.
year. Yeah.
Right. This guy came out of retirement to play the season. He's on the practice squad. I don't know if he's playing this week, but
Okay.
they've been rumors of Jason Kelsey. And at this point, maybe they should be real rumors because Saquon is not playing well. The run game is horrible. The pass game is hit and miss. One week is amazing, the
Yeah.
next week is trash.
Really inconsistent.
Inconsistent as hell, man. Very inconsistent team, bro.
Whereas
Yeah.
Dallas is
Oh,
playing very consistently.
oh, very consistently for sure. You know what I mean? But I'll say this: we're in for a good end of season. November should be very interesting for football fans. I'm talking about everywhere, every division.
Think about
But
the
what I'm really
Thanksgiving games.
oh, that should be
Dallas,
fun. Mm,
Detroit, like all the traditional Thanksgiving sites,
yes, yes.
their teams are rocking. So it's going to be fun
Mm.
for the fans, and it's going to be fun for the traditions. And yeah, that late in November, like significant things are happening in the league. I think the Thanksgiving Day games this year are going to be lit.
Oh yeah, we have Green Bay versus Detroit that's going to be happening. We have
Woo!
Kansas City versus Dallas. That should be a very fun one to
Oh
watch.
my!
Bengals versus Baltimore. I think Joe Flacco is going
Eh.
to be in the game. And then we
That
have
was supposed to be a
Chicago
good
versus
game. That
Philly.
was supposed to
Oh,
be a good game this
I
year.
was supposed to, let's hope Lamar. Oh my God, I got to talk about this, man. Oh
Two
my
out of three ain't bad.
2 out of 3 ain't bad. Let's talk about the Okay, there's a controversy. I don't know if you heard about it,
What's
but
that?
Lamar was supposed to play today, right?
Yeah,
And versus
Queen telling.
Chicago Bears. Yes, I know you know. So for the audience who doesn't know, usually on the injury report, coaches and teams have to disclose if a player was fully participating in
Mhm.
a practice, right? Because
That's
that
right.
usually indicates that they're going to play in the game because there's usually a Friday practice, right?
That's
In
right.
preparation for Sunday night or Sunday football, right? And the Baltimore Ravens listed Lamar as fully participating in the Friday practice, right?
Hmm.
Why is this really important? It's not only important for fantasy owners, but it's important for lines and spreads. We're going to talk
Gamblers.
about that real soon because Lamar Jackson is such an impactful player. He can move the line based on his participation
Well,
in a
what did
practice
we
and his
what did we
injury report.
quantify it as? What did we quantify it about the first week when he was out and the line swung by 9 points? We were like, well, there you go.
Yes. There
There's
you
his
go.
value. He's worth 9 points to Baltimore by himself.
Exactly that. And yesterday, the bomb announcement came out, I think in the afternoon, that Lamar would not be playing in the game. Now,
Yeah.
the issue is there had been a miscommunication or maybe a fraud, depending who you ask, where they were saying Lamar was fully participating in the Friday practice, indicating that he would play on
On
Sunday.
Sunday.
But then retroactively, the Ravens and the coaching staff said, hey, we analyzed him and we diminished him to limited on Friday. And now he's not playing on Sunday today. This is, again, something that bettors have to understand and understand. And then the conspiracy theories come out where did they do this on purpose? Lamar is potentially trying to gear up for a contract extension. Is he maybe saying his hamstrings a bit hurt? Or is there a strategic reason because the Ravens are playing on Thursday night football? Do they not want him to play 2 games in less than 5 days, 5 or 6 days, right? So
Yeah.
many things going on. This is what I don't like, man. The manipulation of telling people this and then changing your mind and so on and so forth. Unc, what are your quick hits, your quick thoughts about
Yeah. I think
injuries, line? What are your thoughts, man? Yeah.
yeah, no, I think in this case, Baltimore is just sort of kind of guilty of wish casting,
Mm,
really more than anything. And the other aspect of this too is that we're talking about a hamstring. Hamstrings are
right.
right. They're very hard to quantify because it's soft tissue as opposed to a broken bone, right? And
Right.
hamstrings are so tricky. You're feeling good and then boom, pop. It's like, we're going backwards again, right? So yeah, I think if anything, Baltimore's guilty of wish casting, hopium, whatever you want to call it. But there are rules. There are very strict rules for this, for the very reasons that you mentioned. So yeah, that's bad
Mm,
management by Baltimore. You hope it's not for anything nefarious, right? Like I don't know. I believe in Ozzie
right.
Newsome. I believe in the integrity of them as a team and all that type of thing. Yeah, I just think they were hoping, wishing, and praying more.
Hey, man.
And it
I
just
was
went
hoping and wishing.
and it went
I
on a
was
little
hoping.
too long. It got a little too close to the line.
Oosh, I was hoping, wishing, and praying because we're 1-5, worst team in the AFC North. Crazy.
What
Who
an
would have thought?
impact! What an
Jeez.
impact that injury has had on an entire division and team.
Yes. Oh my God. We could talk about it for hours, but I know we're limited in time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we appreciate y'all for being here. One thing we want to talk about though is as we go in week 8, man, it's damn near halftime in the season for most people.
Yeah, it
What
is.
are our fantasy starts and sits for some people who want to get back from the hole that they're in, like myself, or
Oh,
people who are cruising into a potential championship fantasy season? Unk, what do we do? Who should we start? Who should we sit, man?
it depends on your league because I am devastated by injuries right now. And like, this is
Oh,
like the worst disaster I've ever had. But it's a 14 team league we're in, and there's like nothing but crumbs on the waiver wire. So
very
the only
limited.
way to get out of it is to trade your way out of it. But like, I'm talking about, like, I have Garrett, Pearsall, and Lamar Jackson, and a
Oh,
running back too. I'm pretty sure. All like these are all major draft picks, and they're all friggin' like injured. I can't use them, and I can't really replace them either. Um,
mm,
yeah, like I certain
tough.
rookies that I thought were going to take off on the waiver wire, right? A lot of people watching for Ollie Gordon, not happening.
Ollie
Like,
Gordon. Mm,
right, like Scattaboo has performed well. That's been a pleasant surprise, right?
right.
And Woody Marks to a certain degree. But there haven't really been like the rookie impact has been more felt on wide receiver, and
Yes.
yeah. So it's been because the one stud running back that was tearing it up and looking great, Omarion Hampton's on injury reserve. Um,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
instead, we're getting running backs, right? We're getting running backs like freaking. We have to talk about DeAndre Swift.
Yes.
After,
Swift.
after
Who would have
writing
thought?
him off in frustration for so long, suddenly Chicago
Balling.
is like getting good stuff out of the guy. Like he's in his last 3 games, he's been injured and nicked up, but he's managed to
Right.
put out a line 33. What was he? Yeah, 23, 33 carries for 232 yards, for heaven's sakes, 81 yards
Crazy.
through the air, 3 TDs, two of them, one receiving, two running. Like all of a sudden,
Wow.
DeAndre Swift is going to be a league winner. Like,
Oh yes. Oh yes. Whoever has him,
right?
they're gonna
If
be
he
going
keeps it
really
up,
far.
anyways. If he keeps it up.
Yes.
Now, how many years have we wanted and done? We're just waiting for DeAndre Swift to live up to this type of potential in Detroit, in Philly. It's like never,
Oh
right?
man. Everywhere. He's been everywhere. And finally has a home in Chicago. It's crazy. Of all places. Crazy.
And an offense that's working, that he's
Right.
helping make it work.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's crazy in fantasy, man. But yeah, so I would
Mm.
start all your Chicago players today going up against Baltimore. Sorry,
Viable.
buddy, but like Caleb Odunze and DeAndre Swift, all must starts for Chicago today. When's the last time you had 3 must starts in fantasy coming out of Chicago? Right, been a minute.
No.
But let me go through the mash unit here. So yeah, in San
Mm.
Francisco, Pearsall's out, Purdy's out.
Ugh.
And what the hell happened to George Kittle last week? That was like so many people were so anxious for Kittle to come back, and he just put up a zero burger. Um,
Nothing.
so womp womp there. I imagine that gets back on track this week. But Tonga
Yes.
has been a great replacement. So womp womp
Mm.
for the Kittle starters. But Garrett Wilson, AJ Brown, Nico
Oh.
Collins, Drake London, might be out. But
Oh.
Penix, who throws to Drake London, Bryce
Oh.
Young, right?
Oh.
Flacco,
Oh.
though, Flacco in Cincinnati hosting the
Mm.
Jets. Like, yes, please. I would take Flacco if I could start. If I had him available, I would start Flacco this week, right?
Starting Flacco for sure.
You might get
Yeah.
some picks, but you might not. It's the Jets, right? But like he's definitely going to throw that ball all over the place to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, right? And which was going
Oh
to open it
yes.
up to Chase Brown to run. Like, whoa, yeah, starting all my Cincinnati guys, which isn't something that we said early on in the season. We were like all nervous, but train's back on the tracks.
Very
Um,
viable
so
now.
so yeah,
Yeah.
those are my thoughts. Derrick Henry should also go well today, though. They'll probably running
Yes.
the heck out of him. Um, I'm pretty sure that's what Baltimore is going to try to do today. Mostly is run the ball. So
Right.
good luck. but yeah, those are my thoughts on starts and sits with fantasy.
Nice, nice. I like that your starts and sits, man. I'm telling you right now, always look into backups. Just my little advice. Look into backups who have been performing and performing well, because unfortunately for the NFL, sometimes there's seasons like this where a lot of your fantasy starters are hurt, right? And you have to adjust, because let me tell you, you're aiming to have a great December, because the great
Yeah.
December means you win a championship or you were in the playoffs or you're competing. Look at the backups who are playing really well. Look at the Buccaneers backups, because I think Mr. Baker Mayfield is still going to launch that thing to
Yeah,
whoever is in the vicinity.
that's
That's
right.
some little advice I
Well,
would give. Mhm. Mhm.
yeah, because having to do a deep dive on the Tampa Bay roster this year, because
Right.
missing Godwin and Evans basically has seen
Mm.
us Egbuka emerge, but now he's injured,
Right.
right?
Now he's
And
hurt. Yeah.
what's the other guy? Sterling Shepard, I think, is starting to emerge a little bit. Like these are all names that we
Sterling
don't know
Shepard.
of.
Yes.
We don't know
Yes.
these guys, but we know that offense and we know Baker Mayfield. So, yeah, I've got to start. I'm starting Shepard today. I got no choice.
No, smart decision. And think about it like this: if anybody is having, this is something that something that I'm happy to see. If anybody has Travis Hunter, he is. I think he's viable to be a
Yeah,
must start now,
dude.
because BTR is getting traded or damn near on the trade line.
Yeah, what a
BTJ, my
disappointment.
mistake. He's
But
very disappointed. Get him out of your roster, guys.
you
Guys,
saw
get him.
that catch Travis made, I think it was 2 weeks ago, where he
Oh,
went up and over the corner. Like he basically cherry picked the ball away from
oh,
the cornerback. Like wow, what
beautiful.
elevation, what athleticism. Like that guy can really play wide receiver, and he's a good quarterback too. It's just amazing. Like I haven't seen a player
Yeah.
like this. I haven't seen a player like this, legit player like this since like Bo Jackson's the only guy that really comes to mind. Now he's not nearly like
Right.
Bo Jackson, but like this guy is just an athlete.
He's doing Otani things, man. He's doing Otani. That's the best way I can
Yeah, yeah,
describe it.
yeah. I'll bet
By
you
the
this
way, go
guy.
Jays, go. Go Jays, go. Come on, man.
Yeah, dude, that's a whole other thing going on. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, this guy gives me
Yes.
that type of that kind of energy. I bet you any money this guy plays great baseball. I bet you he plays basketball. He's like Jim Thorpe. I bet you. I bet you this guy is good
Oh
in a
yeah.
lot of sports, man. Holy cow, Travis
This
Hunter.
is an
Woo.
all around athlete, and he was covering Devonte Adams. But this is my problem. My only critique is that the few times that he was on Devonte Adams, he made it tough for Devonte. But then sometimes he takes some breaks, which makes sense because dude is going both ways. And
Right.
Devonte would just dominate, man. Devonte
Well,
Adams, by the way, he's
well,
viable
that
because
shows you
gotta
how
get
good he
stops.
is, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. By the way, Devonte Adams very viable. Puka is out again, so just for anybody
Yeah.
who's starts
All
and
right.
sits.
So did you want to
So
do a couple did you want to get a couple point spreads from me? I just have a couple.
absolutely, man. Absolutely. No rush, by the way. I'm not, I'm free this evening. Take your time. I just
Oh,
want to
okay.
have you go. You know what I mean?
Right
Any
on.
games, all the games you want.
Well,
Yeah.
I really like the first opening window, the 1 o'clock
Mm.
games.
Okay,
I
okay.
love Cincinnati over to cover that 6 points. I
Okay,
really
okay.
like Houston, I think, to cover 2.5 points at home. Their defense is really, really good. They're having
Yeah.
some issues with offense, and Nico Collins is out. But that defense, man, like that defense is never say die. They got beat by a better team in Seattle last week, but into the
Yes.
fourth quarter, right? Into the fourth quarter, like you don't see any quit from Houston, right? You don't see them
No.
just throw up their, shrug their shoulders and go, like, oh, well, the offense isn't working. It's not our day, boys. The offense isn't going to do its part. No, they're in there trying to win the game, man. And they
Straight
almost
up.
did. They almost pulled it off. So I like
Mm,
Houston to cover 2.5 points at home. I like Chicago
mm.
to cover on the road against Baltimore. And I
Oh,
kind
okay.
of like Miami to maybe cover that 7 points on the road in Atlanta because I think Penix is out.
Penix is out, so it's Kirk Cousins. This game is going to be closer than we think. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be
Yeah.
close.
So I have a
Yeah.
feeling that between, a couple interceptions, or unless Kirk O'Chains comes out and it's a 30-point blowout, it's just ridiculous. But
It's
but
possible.
anyways, I think
Yeah.
Miami might be able to. I think that's a bit of a large spread, especially with Penix out. I just kind of think Miami might get under there, right? Lose by
Right.
6, right? But that's a win. I
Mhm.
like Carolina too in that
Oh, me
window
too.
against Buffalo on the road because Buffalo can't really stop the run, and we saw what
Right.
Rico Dowdle has been doing. So for 7 points, I don't think Buffalo's going to win this by more than 7 points. So
No,
if they win, right, they're on upset alert
they
here.
might lose. They might lose. You're right.
Right, they're on upset alert.
Yeah.
And I kind of like, I really like the Giants covering that 7.5 points against Philly. I think that to me
Oh,
looks like, unless Philly turns all mercurial again, and this is their week to like look like world beaters, right? Because they're so
right,
inconsistent. But I don't think so. I think the Giants cover that spread. I really
right.
like New England. New England is a good looking team right now.
Yes, they are. Yes,
Now
they are.
Cleveland's got a good D, so I would count on New England, just their competence right now, to cover that 7 points. But ordinarily,
Okay.
I might take Cleveland in that. But
Mm,
New England's looking good.
yeah.
I also like this point spread has really come down a little bit, but I got New Orleans at 5.5 early in the week. Right, so that's a
Oh,
good,
okay.
but it's down to 3.5 now. So it's a bit
Yeah.
of a coin flip on that one. Tampa Bay's on the road. Spencer
Mm,
Rattler's been a bit better. Like 3.5 is like the worst spread, right? Because it's like 2.5
yeah.
is better. But in this one here, so you're basically saying that they're going to win, but Tampa would have to win by like 2 field goals or a touchdown.
You're right.
Whew, given how the
Do we know
NFC
about
South,
that?
the NFC
I don't think.
South,
Yeah. Ugh.
crazy games happen in the NFC South. So I'm
Yeah.
kind of sticking with my New Orleans pick just because. In every day a little rain must fall, right? So I'm not going 15-0 any weeks, right? So you're gonna lose some of
Right.
them, but I kind of think that one. I like New Orleans in that one.
Me too.
The 14.5 points with
Oh.
Indianapolis. Oh my God, what the hell, man? So I kind of have to take because it's 14.5. If it was 13.5, I'd say, yeah, take Indy, right? Despite it being
So you're
double
going
digits.
Tennessee?
But
Oh.
14.5, you know me, dude. I love a huge underdog. I'm taking Tennessee, even though Tennessee's brutal
Okay.
against the spread this year, right? So kind of a
Right.
throwaway.
Right.
But and this one's
Mm.
hard, man. Dallas and Denver. Dallas is visiting Mile High, and it's 3.5 points in Denver's favor. Ooh,
Oh.
I don't even want to
Tough.
make
That's
that
tough.
pick. I don't even want to make
Right.
that pick, but
Oh
I kind of
shit.
got to go with Dallas, I think.
Oh.
Even if they
Okay. That's a
lose,
hot
it
take.
won't be by
That's a
much,
hot
right?
take. Right.
They just,
It's a hot
yeah,
take.
the way those receivers are going right now, man. Yeah.
Right.
And then we got, of course, Pittsburgh over Green Bay. Pittsburgh's +3, and I don't even think that's much of a stretch. They're at home. I think they can do that.
Yeah. And
KC's,
by the way, underrated narrative is Aaron Rodgers coming
yeah,
back to Green. I
he
think
said,
he wants to go insane, bro. He's saying all the right things, but I
right.
know him. I know he wants to put up points. That's just me. Yeah.
Yeah, he says it's nothing but love for Green Bay. It's not a revenge game. He says he got nothing but love for them. It's a long time ago, right? Bullshit. I'll buy it.
Big
um,
bullshit. Yeah.
now KC
Mhm.
started at 3.5 point
Mm.
favorites, and then Jaden Daniels. So here's the next one. Jaden Daniels apparently is worth 8 points to
Yes, he
the
is.
Commanders. Because the
Yes, he
point
is.
spread's now 11.5 in KC's favor. And
Ooh.
big number. But I just have a feeling KC puts in a dominant performance this week. Because remember, they're 4-3. They're
Mm.
trying to get back on top of the hill. They're
Oh
making up
yes.
for some early season losses. So I think they really kind of want to just kick the stuffing out of a couple teams to sort of
Right.
reestablish their sort of dominance. And then I guess that leaves us with the Monday night matchup. That's
Mhm.
Minnesota is at the Chargers in LA.
Right.
I'm going to go with
Uh,
the Chargers. I'm going to go home team. It's 3 points. I
mm.
don't see any reason why they shouldn't be able to cover that. Minnesota hasn't been the world beater on defense that we thought they might be this year. So I'm
Sorry. I think it's Commanders. No, wait. Yeah, Commanders Chiefs is the Monday night. Minnesota Chargers, I think, was the Thursday night. That already happened.
Oh, pardon me. It's
But
already gone down. Pardon me. Yeah. Sorry. My bad.
yeah,
My bad. I was
Chargers
gonna
crushed
say
them. Yeah. It's all
yeah.
good.
I
It's
was gonna
all
say
good. It's
that
all
doesn't make
good.
sense. Okay, so yeah.
Yeah.
So Green Bay at Pittsburgh is the Sunday nighter. Right. And
Yeah.
Washington KC. There we go.
Is the Monday night. Yeah. So you got it
Yeah.
all. You got it all. Great
Yeah.
job, my man.
We did
By
the
the
whole
way,
slate. We did the whole
We did
slate
the
this
whole.
week.
I love it. I love it. I want to say something though about the lines and spreads. This
Sure.
is all again. Gamble responsibly. I don't know. Think if we said this already. Either do it for fun, like Unc does, just to test your knowledge, or just be responsible, man. We talked about gambling earlier. Do not get in the hole where you're talking to the Genovese Campino crime
Right.
family for some loans, bro.
Because it might
Don't get to that
literally
level.
be a hole.
Straight up, you might get dug up or get run up. You feel me? You know what I mean?
Oh man, yeah. And,
It's
and
straight up. Yeah.
for the record, I
Mm.
am I'm 61-39 against the spread this season.
Nice,
So
nice.
if you
Mm.
did follow my my picks, right, you would be above, right? You would be making money, right?
There we
So
go.
yeah, and I think my return, I think that's about a. If you were like actually doing that money wise, right? If you placed 100 games on each pick, right?
Right.
So you would be
Hey.
11. You'd be like 11, 12 games over, right? So you'd have $1,200 in your pocket, right? So
Hey. I'm telling
yeah,
y'all, listen to these lines and spreads by Unc. He's putting y'all on game. You know
it's
what I
not
mean?
perfect. It's not perfect, but I'm in like the 97th, 98th percentile, and
Yeah.
yeah, buddy, like 61-39. That's well above 500, and you would be making money with me, right? But you make a
There we
very
go.
good point. Do I have the confidence enough to actually put my paycheck on the line?
No. Be
We played
wise.
100 games. We've had 100 games, right? $100 a game.
Yeah.
What, are you kidding me? 10 grand of my income gambling. I'd be ahead of the game.
Yeah. I'm
but
saying that be
but
smart.
yeah,
Be responsible. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
that's
We
right.
want to
That's
push
right.
that
And
to our watchers because, of course, it's fun to put a little. I put action on. I can't lie. I
yeah,
put action on, and I do take a lot of Unc picks, and I have been making a little something. So yeah, I mean,
all right, all right.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
buddy. So
be responsible is what I'm saying.
yeah,
That's all.
man.
You know what I mean?
That's very, very true, right? Always gamble within. My cousin used to have a great idea about it because my cousin was just definitely a degenerate gambler from he was 12, 13, right? They are very competitive family, my cousins, right? They love
Right.
gambling, right? And so like
Mm,
they went from like playing poker with matches into pennies. And then of course, he's 18. He's like, asking, hey, what's going on,
yeah.
buddy? It's like, oh, heading down to the racetrack. Like, of course you are, right? Because that's what you do, right? But he had a really
Right.
wise thing. He says, and this is like way back in the day money we're talking here, right? He's like, look,
Right.
man, I'm going to go spend $20 tonight. Like if I go to the movies or take my girlfriend out or something, like that. If I go to the
Yeah.
racetrack with that same $20 and only spend that $20, it's fun and entertaining, just like the movies with my girlfriend is, right? And I might even come home with 40 or
Oh,
$50 instead, right? So that's the way you
no.
have to look at it. And you hear
Right.
it all the time. Put
Mm,
limits, like stick with your limits. Decide what you can
boy.
afford to lose. Never gamble
Yeah.
more than what you can afford to lose.
Absolutely, man. And we just got to push this message in an age where,
Yeah.
sports betting is huge, right? So if you're gonna spend $20 going to the movies, that's a good principle. If you're gonna spend $20 on going to the movies, okay, why not put $20 on a parlay?
It's all
Something like
entertainment.
something simple. But if you are in the back rooms with Chauncey Billups and all types of ish, then yes, maybe a little too far. You know what I mean?
using words like vig.
Yeah, yeah, man. I'll say this, man. We're gonna end it the right way with our power rankings for week 8. So we want to talk about what are our teams from 5 all the way to number 1 power
Yeah,
rankings for week 8. Unc, do you want to do the first ones, man, or you
sure.
want me to go first? What are you feeling, bro? You know what I
I'll
mean?
go first, buddy.
Let's get it.
All
Let's get
right.
it.
Number
Mm,
5. Number 5, I got
mm,
the Broncos. Right? All these
mm.
teams are 5-2 or better. Right? So the
Nice.
Broncos, I got the Broncos in there. And
Mm,
they've got 163 points for, 127 against, right? You guys know I use that figure a lot to sort of distinguish between, teams that are just barely holding on, maybe possibly
right.
fraudulent, and a team that's like kicking butt, right? So the
Right.
next one at number 4, I got the Pats. I got the Pats at number 4 at 5-2.
Oh,
Score,
okay.
with a point differential of about 50 points over 7 games. So they're winning by about a touchdown a week, right? That's why I was
Nice.
fairly confident in that point spread that they're going to win by 7 this week.
Mm.
Seahawks, number 3. Seahawks, also at 5-2.
Oh, Okay.
193-4, 136 again. So again, that's a healthy, lusty 60 points for. They played 7 games, so they're winning by more than a touchdown. And I got the Lions. I got the Lions at number 10 at 5-2
Oh,
with a lusty 215 points for and only 151 against. So yeah, that's a real difference, right?
it's a
Right.
real
The
team.
Lions that's separation from those other 3 teams. Like that's
Oh yeah.
genuine separation. And next one, drum roll, please.
Oh,
Indianapolis Colts, man.
oh
6
yes.
and
Oh
1
yeah.
doesn't lie. 6 and 1 ain't
No.
lying, buddy. That's for real. That's more than any other. That's better than any other team in the league. You got to give it up to them. And they scored
Mm,
232 points for, 140 against, buddy. That's like almost 100 points in point differential. They played 7 games. That's like more than a touchdown to win. That's like 10 points a week winning, right?
straight
So,
up.
right. So that's, yeah, that Indy for the second time now, number 1 team in the league. Who knew?
Oh man, and they've been consistently on our power rankings. If you pay attention to what we've been saying
With
all
another
throughout the
bust,
season.
with another QB bust revival.
Yes, actually, we forgot. My bad on that. I probably forgot to say it. Daniel
Well,
Jones is
we
another.
talked about him and we talked to him about him after week 6 though. But so we have
Right.
given Jones his due to this point.
Respect. Thank you for reminding me, Anki. Yes, this is another bust quarterback that was supposed to be gone out of the league years
Right?
ago. Eternal
Chewed
backup
up
that
by the New
came
York
back.
media environment.
You right? It's kind of crazy how the people leave New York and become better. Funny how that works. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
my list is very.
Toronto Maple Leafs have the same damn problem.
Oh
We're
shit!
not going
Oh
down
yeah,
there. We're not going down there. But
Marner.
yeah,
Oh, you
big
talk about
media
Marner.
markets. Big media markets are sometimes really frustrating.
Mm,
They have all the money in the world, they have all the attention in the world, they have the fan
yeah,
base, and yet rather than churning out championship after championship like the Yankees, did for certain
right.
times, right? Instead,
Mhm.
it's like they churn out mediocrity because why bother, right? These fans aren't going anywhere. It's a
Right.
frustrating conundrum. It's a frustrating
You know what
conundrum,
it
right?
is? I think it's the pressure of the media and the franchise, or at least the team, knowing that the fans will be there no matter what, win or
Right.
loss. You know what I mean? And then you
Yeah.
go to a smaller market team or a team that just not as media heavy. It's less pressure on the players. They feel more free. They don't have an owner breathing down their neck or fan base constantly in their mentions messing up their mental. Mental is a
I
huge part
was
of the game.
I
Yeah.
was just thinking about that the other day. Actually, this week,
Yeah.
I was thinking of, I guess the best example of that, real city of winners is Pittsburgh,
Mhm.
right? And because
Right. Fair point.
they have to scrabble and scrimp and save, and they have a hard scrabble job. If you're not the Steelers, right? Like if you're
Mm,
the Bucks, the Pirates, or if you're like the Pittsburgh Penguins, like if you're not
right.
scratching out championships every, at least once a decade,
Right.
people will just forget about you.
Fair
and,
point.
and
You're right
and like
about that.
Mario Lemieux had to do some real financing magic to make them work, and
Mm.
right, and Pittsburgh has figured it out, man. Just churn out competitive teams year after year, and yeah,
It's
fans
gonna
will
be
show up.
really
They
interesting.
will pay for a winning product.
It will be interesting to watch the Steelers Packers game. I'm definitely gonna watch it because the return of Rodgers. You have the Steelers still on top of the AFC North. I'm sorry, the Bengals are looking so damn good that they're breathing down. The I think the division is wide open between the
Yeah,
Bengals and the
dude,
Steelers.
way more
Should
wide
be a
open than I
fun
care
game.
to admit.
Yeah, that game, the icy bowl, the icy hot bowl, or whatever it was, that was some of the most entertaining football I've seen in a long time.
Well,
By the
listen,
old head,
buddy. You
it felt so
notice how
good.
I haven't been crowing about the Steelers, right? You notice I haven't been taking
Oh,
advantage to crow, right? Because
yeah, fair
I
play.
realize that it's kind of a binding wire effort that's sort of going on here. Like I'm not sure
Right.
exactly how like legit that 5-2 record is and all that stuff. So I'm just
Yeah,
kind of minding my tongue right now where my beloved Steelers are concerned. Just sort of like I'm taking the wins as
oh,
we get them. I'm cheering them. But
I just have for the Steeler fans. I need y'all to win a playoff game, man. Like this has been so long. Y'all got to win at least one,
yeah,
man. Because the AFC is quiet as it kept. The AFC is not that. The NFC is hard. The
yeah.
AFC, I don't know. You know what
But
I mean?
yeah, well, it's just that yeah, like I'm tired of the Steelers sort of like playing just well enough not to turn on them. Like, yeah, I need a
Right.
playoff win. I need that feeling of like we're ascendant. We're going somewhere, right? Just the
Yes.
same old, which is like, enough not to, let other teams look down their nose at you. we
Fair
had a
play.
winning,
Fair
we
play.
had a winning, we had a winning record every year for 15 years, right? Nah, that's cool, fun to talk
Yeah.
about. Definitely a great sign of overall general institutional competence. But yo, dude, I
Right.
want more than that. I want more than that for my Steelers. I want my Steelers riding high.
Oh man, I don't blame you, man. We sports fans, we want our teams to be rocking, man. And I'm telling you this, my power rankings very similar to yours, but I did remove or not have some teams, right? So I'll start off with number 5. We have this one in common, the Patriots. 100%. I put them at number 5. Drake May, that offense is rolling. The defense is also rolling. Ramondre
Yes.
Stevenson is no longer dropping the ball all the time. He's doing his thing. So shout out to him. Number 4, I got the Rams. Yes, the LA Rams.
Yeah.
Five
Good
and
choice.
two. 5-2 Rams. Devontae Adams said, y'all thought I was old? 3 touchdowns on your head top. And
Yeah.
5 touchdowns from you know what I mean? Sam why did I say why am I saying Sam Darnold? No, Stafford. My bad. I had a brain fart. I fogged up a little bit.
Well,
Stafford, 5 touchdowns.
you know
Looking
how it
like
is with these young rookies, right? You can't keep all their names on your tongue, right?
straight up.
You've only
Straight
had
up.
18. You've only had 18 years to learn Matt Stafford's name, dude. It's okay.
Only it's okay. It's okay. I blanked out. I blanked out. Matt Stafford, hey man, he keeps this up. He's gonna get some MVP votes, man.
Father
He's been
freaking time,
balling.
man.
Oh
Dude, it's
man, for
father
years.
time.
I will give number 3. It's a little controversial, but I'll say it. And I've kind of been poo-pooing on them the entire show, but I'll give them credit where it's due. I'm gonna put the Eagles there. I'll put the Eagles at my number 3 position for the simple fact that that offense looked really, really good. And when they're at their peak, the Eagles are one of the best teams in the entire league. Number 2 for me is the Detroit Lions. Yes, after they put that whooping on whatever team they played recently. I forgot. Whatever, it doesn't matter. They're 5-2. They're doing their thing. I got the Lions at number 2 and number 1. We are both in agreement, fam. You can't argue
Indianapolis.
versus 6-1. You can't argue versus. Come on,
Yeah.
bro. You
Yeah.
cannot argue against 6-1. There's this guy called Jim Irsay, rest in peace, who was looking down or maybe looking up. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know where he's at, but he
We're
is
gonna go with
happy.
looking down, buddy. We're gonna go with looking down, Mr.
We're gonna
Ursay.
say looking
I,
down.
I'm
You know what I
sure.
mean?
I'm sure he was a good man.
Yes, sir. And hey man, is this the year? This is one of the best Colts team I've ever seen. Start
Right?
to bottom. Everywhere, defense, offense, damn near special teams, they are a special squad, man. They are
I just
looking
cannot
like
get
one of
over
the
the
best.
idea that Daniel Jones is going to inherit the legacy of Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck. Like, yo,
Crazy. What? Who would have thought that this was nobody? I bet you even Colts fan did not see this coming. I
you
bet
know
you.
what Jones is going to end up being is
What's up?
I mean, we
Mm.
already had the Eli Manning sort of like corollaries and all that stuff, but I'm going to go even further back. Remember Mr.
Oh,
Jim Harbaugh as a quarterback when he came out of Michigan, right?
oh, oh,
He played for the Colts, and he was a scrappy guy. He was like sort of he had legs, he could run, and
right.
he was just a winner, man. He just that's the same Harbaugh we love as a coach. When he played
Nice.
when he played in the early '90s for before the arrival of Manning and Luck, like
Right.
he was the quarterback there, and he was very good.
Nice. Nice. I didn't even know that. That's a bit of trivia I didn't know. Shout out to Jim. Good, good, good on him and good on Danny. Danny Dimes or Indiana
Yeah.
Jones, as they call him, bruh.
That's why
Crazy.
you invite me to the meetings, buddy. Old
Yeah.
old school trivia. That's why you bring me to the meetings.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Unk Football for putting us up on game in terms of the
Right.
OG. That's why you need the OGs. You know what I mean?
That's it,
Yeah.
That's it, dog.
Yes, sir. We're
Can't
gonna.
spell dog without OG.
Oh, that's a fact. That's a fact. Shout out to young KP Kareem in the building, man. Appreciate you for your commentary out here, man. Hey, man, you ready for some football today, man?
I sure am, buddy.
Let's
I
get it.
sure am.
Appreciate
I'm
y'all
so
for
ready for
watching us,
football.
man.
What's
Appreciate
that
y'all
now?
for watching. I'm saying appreciate y'all, the people, the
Yeah.
audience, for watching and supporting, man. It's been Unk and Few. Any last words before we dip?
Just one love to all the people. Them have a safe week, and put a limit on your gambling, but enjoy the games.
That's a fact. And on that note, we out. Deuce.
All right.